Spiritual Fitness Podcast. I'm back again with another episode. I'm your host, Eric Bigger. And today, listen, I got a divine channel message from up above, the cosmos, the universe, the all infinite intelligent. So, just a backstory on what we're going to talk about today before I get into the details. Usually, when I'm consuming content or information or enlightenment or wisdom, and I'm just, watching YouTube, whether it's a podcast, interview, I'm reading books, my vessel is being stretched and expanded to receive, I believe, the data, the information, the insights my soul needs to call in to push out to the universe. The last few weeks, there's been a word that's been coming to me. And, one of them is trust in life and life intelligence, right? Life intelligence. So today's episode, I'm going to discuss the three intelligence that will change your life. That's right. There are three intelligence that will change your life. And look, you might not have heard of this anywhere on YouTube in the world in a book. Maybe you have. I just know I channeled it. It came to me. And two other intelligence you probably already know or you don't. So number one is emotional intelligence, right? Emotional intelligence. Two is spiritual intelligence. And last but not least, number three is life intelligence. And in this episode, I'm going to get into the details and the context of what all these things mean from what I'm taking in on it and what I believe it is. So let's start with emotional intelligence, EQ. They say usually the people who are highly successful, people who are emotionally strong with mental fortitude, and people who can withstand any hardship or challenge or change, they have a high EQ, not a high IQ. And so growing up and going to school and taking tests, it's all about having that high IQ to get into the school you want to go to and all these things. But over time, emotional intelligence is way important, right? And so what I believe and what I know is, and what I teach, not only myself, but my clients is having a bandwidth, to emotionally deal with life challenges and changes to improve emotional intelligence, right? I believe if you have a high EQ in life, you can sustain anything that happens in life. You can get through the most difficult storms and hardships and moments. I also believe life is emotional and mental and it's spiritual, right? So if you have a high EQ and you can manage your emotion when things don't go your way and you're challenged and you have setbacks, I believe if you can withstand all of that, you're going to be okay in life for the long haul. And these three intelligences like universal. So emotional intelligence and my paradox or paradigm of life is to be able to manage emotions when things don't go your way, right? To be able to read the room and understand and be aware of what's in your environment, to know who is who and what is what, and to feel through and see through and sense through the environment within yourself, within your own body, the body of others, and the body of the environment you're in, whether it's a school, a class, a party, a social setting, a TV show, one-on-one discussion, a confrontation with someone, to be able to have emotional intelligence, right? So let me give you an example. So say, for instance, there's a kid, as a young kid, he's motivated to be the best he can be in basketball, right? And his favorite player is LeBron James. And this kid is about 6'5". He can shoot, he can dunk, he's smart, he does great in school, he works hard, he's diligent, he's disciplined, he's consistent. Really great kid, right? Really great kid, has all the physical and mental attributes, right? Then there's another kid who might not be as smart, but has the same talent as this other kid, but he's driven, he's willing to do the work, he's disciplined, he's honest, he's open. They both go to the LeBron James Skills Academy camp. They're both 17. Just say they 17, 6'5", can shoot, dunk, discipline on it. But one kid is very aware. He comes from, a great family. This the first kid. He's amazing. He listens, he executes, right? And this other kid doesn't really have the same support back home, but he's just as good and just as great and just believes, right? So boom, they're doing just say a workout session. And the first kid is, they're shooting jump shots, right? And they shooting 3-pointers. So they shooting 3-pointers. Out of 30 shots, he hits 22, right? That's a really good percentage. 22 out of 33 pointers is really good. So LeBron James is his rebounder. He's rebounding, passing the ball. But LeBron James, because he has so much influence and impact on this kid at a young age and to this day, LeBron James tells this kid, you got to jump on your jump shot and you're not following through fully. So in a real game, that shot might not go in. So, he takes it. Cool. It's feedback, constructive criticism. Cooler. The next kid comes in and he's hitting them and he makes 20 out of 30, right? It's 20 out of 30. And LeBron James tells him, like, man, you got a good lift on your jump shot, but you're not finishing on your follow through and you're a little bit off balance. Here's the thing. The first kid took LeBron James' words very heavy, but he doesn't show it. He takes his words very heavy because of LeBron James. He looks up to him. So LeBron having that power really inflicted a wound on him that LeBron is not known that he did to him. So the rest of the camp, the first kid, he didn't really finish top tier. He was still like top 15 in the camp. Just say it was a camp of 50. He was like top 15 still. But those words from LeBron really impacted him. Now, this other kid, he took the feedback and ran with it like, man, LeBron James told me that. He wants me to be great. He takes the feedback and he finishes top 10, right? So what am I saying here? So basically in this scenario, the first kid emotionally and mentally didn't know how to deal with constructive criticism when it came to him from someone he looked up to. And he has everything in his toolkit, right? As a basketball player, as a shooter, he's great. The other kid, he intellectually he's not as great as the first kid, but emotionally he is, right? Because he's come from a different background. He's dealt with like, setbacks and challenges, not really having that much support, right? He took the feedback and ran with it. He actually finished top 10. So the difference is the first kid has all the tools, he has everything, but emotionally he got a little bit wounded, and those words from LeBron impacted his game while he was at the camp. The second kid took the feedback, really applied it and executed and became even better and had more confidence because LeBron was giving him the support. He usually doesn't get that, right? So as you can see, two people can have the same attributes, but mentally, emotionally, they could be different. And so emotional intelligence is the how we deal with challenges, changes, feedback, or how we just perceive things, right? Someone can call you out of your name and not affect you, but with another person, it affects them, right? That name really causes destruction within that person, really, cause them to be something they're really not. But anyway, to make a long story short, emotional intelligence is the capacity to hold space and to be regulated in your nervous system and to be emotionally stable and neutral when things are out of alignment. And you being able to be steadfast and stay strong in who you are and know that you choose your feelings, right? Emotional intelligence has a lot to do with how we make choice with our emotions and our feelings, right? Someone can call me out of my name, but I don't have to give energy to that source that's coming my way. I can deflect it because if I know it's not true, I don't have to feed it energy, right? And then another person might not like it and might want to get back at them, and that's okay. But they're expending energy that they don't need. So emotional intelligence is so important in life because I feel like most of life is emotional. When we win, we're emotional. When we're in love, we're emotional. When we make money and taking care of the kids, the family, our loved ones, we're emotional. When we get upset, we're emotional. When we're angry. But how do we move through those emotions in such a neutral way, sophisticated way, a classy way, in a way that it benefits our life and it doesn't take from our life? So EQ is very, 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 very important if you want to change your life and sustain a level of living that's inspiring, that's fulfilling, and that keeps you in the driving seat of thriving and not just surviving. So it's like when if it's political, Republicans, Democrat, or racism, or anything, who are you when things don't go your way? Who are you when someone says something that goes against your moral compass or your character? Who are you when you're blindsided? Like, can you have the emotional intelligence to move through those tough spaces and challenges and changes to stand strong in who you are? Right. So, number one, emotional intelligence, EQ, is so important. And especially, when you have a lot of responsibilities, like you're a leader of a team or you're a CEO of a company, because it's so easy to make an emotional decision when you're upset, but it's very smart to be aware of when you're emotional and not make a decision at all, and to be regulated and to have body awareness, mind awareness, self-awareness, to be mindful of what's happening to make a more strategic, logical, higher self decision. So EQ, people, is so important. So make sure you're emotional intelligent. And look, it takes time, it takes work, because a lot of times growing up, depending on where you are in life or what information you was fed or given, you believe that's reality. Perception is reality. Everyone's perception is at the level of their truth or what they believe. Just because I'm telling you this might not resonate for you or with you, but from my experience, this is what's helped me get along in life. Where when you have people talk behind your back, and you mean close friends, family members, people you don't even know talking mess about you. I've dealt with that. It's uncomfortable, but it comes with the territory of being in the public eye or being visible, right? When you can't protect yourself, when you're not aware of what's happening, like when you're out in the public and people just throwing shots at your character. But I never gave it energy, insight, because I'm aware that that comes with the territory or the platform that I have, right? The higher you go, the more people will throw rocks, and it comes with the platform. It's okay. It's like if I'm in the game and I'm shooting free throws and I'm making 10 to 20 million a year to play basketball. Of course, if I'm at an away game, the fans are going to try to tear me down, but I'm not worried about that. I'm more regulated in my emotions. My EQ is strong. Game is on the line. I know exactly what to do. I'm certain, right? I have certainty. I'm confident, God confidence, right? Because I have emotional bandwidth to deal with any challenge or pressure, right? So, God willingly, that message got to you and you understood it a little bit more. Number two, spiritual intelligence. Spiritual intelligence, in my paradigm of knowing, is your intuition, is discernment, right? And spiritual intelligence has nothing to do with information or logic. It has a lot to do with knowing and understanding, right? There's a quote that says, information is useless if you don't understand it. So, spiritual intelligence is a deep divine understanding of things without knowing where their information came from. You just know. It's miracle season. It came to me in 2017. I channeled the name and I just started to say it. Now it took on a life of its own. That's spiritual intelligence. When I came to LA, I got three signs that three different people were saying, you should go to LA. You should apply for a job in LA. Spiritual intelligence led me to believe discernment. I'm applying for a job in LA. I'm going to go to LA. I followed that way, right? And so your intuition, discernment, knowing when to say no, knowing when to say yes to a call, right? Opportunity, deal, even a relationship, right? And this one, eventually I'm gonna get into this life intelligence thing. This is what this all came about. But spiritual intelligence is really being perceptive and seeing and feeling and knowing through the things that's in front of you without allowing the thing in front of you to distract you from the truth that you know. You've ever had someone with a smile on their face tell you the truth or act as if they were and you knew they were lying and they lied? That's spiritual intelligence. You ever get that hunch or that nudge where your spirit is telling you to call your mom or call a friend, and then you call them and it's like, oh, I was just thinking of you. I was thinking of you. Can we talk? Right? Or you ever have that knowing when you meet someone like, I think we're gonna get along. I think that's that discernment of spiritual intelligence. So I believe, because we get so much distortion and distraction with mass media, even some gurus and teachers and motivators and celebrities, we get confused on what we believe versus what we know, right? So a belief can change in an instant. You can believe something and then someone can go against that belief, but a knowing is like a strong yes in your body, where you know what you know and no one can tell you different, right? Spiritual intelligence, I'll just be quite frank and transparent. When the vaccine came out, my soul told me I'm not supposed to get that shot. So guess what? I didn't get the shot. Now, did I judge anybody that did it? No, because everybody, this is what you got to know, people. And I think people struggle with this, especially in family dynamics, whether you're a mom, a dad, a brother, a sister, a spouse, a husband, a wife. So we think, because we have best interest in our person, our partner, our family member, that they should listen to us, right? Oh, I'm worried about them, or I have to take care of them. Like, here, what you got to understand: everybody has their own. They're on their own soul's journey. We all reincarnated with a mission in this lifetime, I believe, right? And no matter what your mother gives you, dad, uncle, aunt, sister, they can give you all the resources, all the money, all the support, all the love. It's up to the individual within their soul to live out their truth. And we can't project what we think because of what we believe. That takes us out of the game of what we need to focus on. So I've done that for years, projecting what I think my family should do, what they should think about, whether it's prayer, fitness, nutrition. That's not my job because they have their own sovereign soul, their own individual self. They have their own autonomy, right? And so I trust and know life is going to take care of them regardless of what I think, regardless of what I give them, and regardless of what I believe they should do, because I'm not in their soul. I have my soul and I have to lead my soul to the highest self. So spiritual intelligence over the years have constantly told me that's not your job. Don't feel obligated because it's family. Stop worrying about people. Where's your faith? Where's your trust? So I know from spiritual intelligence, being tuned in, tapped in, dialed in, that no matter what happens in life, everybody's going to be taken care of. And everybody's going through their own soul's journey. We don't know what people are reincarnated here with, right? We don't know their pain. We don't know their challenges. We don't know their changes. We don't know their psyche. Spiritual intelligence will give you that deep knowing and that deep certainty that everything's going to be all right, but you have to tune in and be connected to your heart space because we get so disconnected because of the leaders of the world and the commercials and social media, mass media, politics, religion, culture, music, food, porn, alcohol, fashion, sexuality. We get confused within. It's like, no, 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 no. This is for them and this is for you. What they do is what is their choice. You don't have to agree with it, but no one cares if you agree because it's not your soul, right? Like it's not your soul to agree with another person's soul. You can be upset, but at the end of the day, we all have to surrender to the highest truth, right? To the spiritual truth, and that's love. That means just is. That means just be. And that's when we tap into life intelligence, right? I remember recently, maybe a few months ago, I had ran into someone and I said, what do you think, about life and how do you feel about the journey you've been in? This person's been through a lot of like pain, challenges, changes, and a lot of just different setbacks, but they've overcome a lot. And this individual told me, like, I just trust life. I trust life. So I don't question it. And I was like, wow. And then over the course beyond that, I was thinking, like, oh, most of my life, I didn't trust life. I trusted myself, ego, and I trust what I could do, but I didn't trust what others could do for me. And so I was thinking, like, oh, the reason I was afraid of heights is because I didn't trust life. The reason I was afraid to jump deep in the ocean is because I didn't trust life, or I didn't trust other people with my life. The reason I didn't trust relationships because I didn't trust life. So now I've discovered, and it's so simple, right? It's so simplified. I believe life is all about what we can give, what we're here to learn, and how much love we can share to the universe and to the people that come into our vortex. There's going to be plights, there's going to be things that make us upset, but those things are to transform our soul so we can become better and become more. I tell people, you're not in control. Like we think we're in control. Listen, right now, if you're listening to this, it's because you're supposed to. Life intelligence. Life brought you to this podcast, to this conversation. In this moment, this is what I'm talking about. This is life, lifing, right? I'm in this phase of my life and I'm just trusting life. Because sometimes we'll have so much life in front of us, depending on an opportunity, a job, a career, a person, a partner. But our ego goes, nope, you don't look like what I want. Nope, you're not what I need. How do you know that if you never embrace what's in front of you, if you never embrace life that's given? Now, a lot of it can be fear, ego. We're not ready to receive what's in our life because that happens a lot too, where life is trying to give you something and you're not ready to receive it. So what happens? Self-sabotage. You push it away, you neglect it, you abuse it, you destruct it, you just make a mess because you're not ready to receive that medicine of life. So this is when the spiritual intelligence kicks in, right? When you're connected to your spirit, you make more sound decisions. You're more intentional about where you input and circulate your energy. You're more aware of who loves you for you or what is it all about and why you're here. And it takes work and it takes time. It takes healing in some capacity. And some people's souls has been here a million times and they're just supposed to glow and thrive and be successful. And some of us are going to go through hell and pain and upsets and body aches, and everybody's different. And that's just why we can't compare ourselves. Today, moving forward, learn and be open and just trust life. Life intelligence is way more than our mental intelligence, right? Our bodies are multi-dimensional technology. So our bodies is always vibrating information and energetics and insight that we need to move forward. But if we're so disconnected from our body, we can't really connect to our higher self, right? And life intelligence is knowing and trusting what life is giving you every moment. It's giving us signs, it's giving us symbols, signals. You know how you know something and you're like, I don't want to believe that about that person. 6 months go by and that revelation comes true. You're like, I knew this. Why didn't I listen? It's because you haven't been spiritually attuned to your intelligence of your soul. And it's okay. But this is why these three intelligence can change your life: emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, and life intelligence, right? So just think about it. I'm going to ask you a question. What does emotional intelligence mean to you? What is your spiritual intelligence? Do you have any? We all do, by the way. I'm just asking you. Life intelligence, what does that look like for you? How do you see that from your perspective? Because we all think different, feel different. We are different for a reason. We all have gifts that can change our life. We got to trust those gifts. And this is why I'm so happy and grateful that I get to speak on a platform of a podcast, of a YouTube, of social media, because expressing my higher self, my truest self in the moment. I mean, 10 years from now, this information, God willing, is still available. It can help someone. Maybe it won't, but it's not up to me. I'm not looking at it from that, standpoint. I'm know right now, I trust life. I trust my higher self. I trust myself. Whether I make a good or bad decision, I trust life, because life is always going to take me to a place where I'm free. My life has been a movie. I've seen it all. Growing up in Baltimore City, being around very negative energies, entities, violence, friends going to jail for the rest of their life, friends being murdered in the streets, going to college, going to Hampton University and seeing, high end, people of color that had money. I never experienced that growing up in the inner city of Baltimore. Then from there to have a culture shock and change by going to LA, where it's so diverse and everybody has money and everybody wants fame and fortune and wants to be this great actor or actress or this powerful individual to travel in the world, being on TV, flying on private jets, just seeing it. And I'm like, man, if people only knew, my life is a movie, my life is a movie, but I'm so here for it because I get to be the star in my movie and have emotional intelligence, have spiritual intelligence, and to trust my life intelligence, that knowing, that sense of allowing, that sense of trusting, that sense of radical acceptance and surrendering to the moment, to know that no one's in control, but life is. Because life is forever omnipresent. It's like God, it's everywhere. But we got to be present and know our emotional self, know our spiritual self, and trust the life that's trying to come through our soul so we can live at that space. So, people, if you're listening, if you've been here from the beginning, thank you for listening. Hopefully, you took notes. This resonates with your heart and your mind and your body. Share this information, share this episode. It's so good to know who you are from a spiritual space, from an emotional space, and being connected to the life intelligence of yourself. Spiritual Fitness Podcast. Share this episode. Like I said, connect, subscribe, and just connect with me. And follow me on Instagram at Eric Bigger. DM me. Let's just chat. Let's hang out. By the way, to anybody who wants to strengthen their mindset, who wants to change the way they're thinking, I have a free miracle mindset guide that I'm willing to give you. I'll share it in the show notes. Just click it. It's yours to have, and it'll help you strengthen your mind and to be open to new and better things. By the way, get you the Miracle Season hoodie, t-shirt, snapback. It's miracleseason.co. Click the link. It'll be in the show notes as well. And M Season, all caps, is a promo code to get you a discount. And by the way, shouts out to Simplified Impact, who controls and manages all my, YouTube and social media and everything moving forward. And do not forget to get you some sea moss, some miracle moss, the superfood in a jar. It's like applesauce, but it's sea moss with fruit mixed in. It's so good. It detox your body. It strengthens your immune system, improve your digestive system, gives you energy, and it's really good. Miracle Moss. That's as well. Click the link in the show notes. And for today, that's it, people. Be great, be amazing, be phenomenal, be fulfilling. Love yourself, trust yourself, continue to grow to know yourself, and tap into those three intelligence: emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, life intelligence. We out. It's Miracle Season, Spiritual Fitness Podcast. Another episode. Thank you. Peace.